Hello my internet friends, my name is Soul, and today I wanted to mark the year 2025. It's been a crazy year so far, but there's one thing that is for sure, and that is I played a lot of good video games within the past year or two. I've had a bit of a gaming renaissance, so I thought I'd dust off my dirty old top 10 video games list video and bump it up while we're at it. I am making my top 25 video games of all time video here today. Let's just jump right into it. Let's do it. Also, the one disclaimer for this video, I'm only doing one game per franchise. Otherwise, this list would be cluttered with so many Pokemons and Mass Effects and Fallouts. But wait until the end of the video for information about my next video where I might actually get to talk more about those games. Here is number 25, Eco. Despite coming out on the PS2 in the early 2000s, Eco is a game I actually recently completed, and I made a very special video dedicated to Eco and my time with it. I was a new father and it was my maternity leave game, and I was amazed at the storytelling and narrative gameplay that was packed in this old PS2 game. From its subtle character animations to this big beautiful castle, there's so much to love about this game, and it has a very special place in my heart, cracking my top 25 list. Number 24, The Walking Dead, a Telltale game. The Walking Dead was my first foray into movie games. Games with very minimal gameplay. They're mostly just quick time events, but they tell a damn good story along the way. Your choices determine outcomes in the story. This was my first time experiencing anything like that, and this was when Walking Dead was at its peak, and the game was a Game of the Year winner for a reason. After so many seasons and so many games like this, it's easy to see why games don't hold this game in the same weight that they used to, but do not sniff at this game's beautiful story, not to mention the memories and experience I had back in the day with it. Number 23, God of War 2. It was very tough for me to pick my favorite God of War. I love the original God of War. It was a beast on the PS2. God of War 2 was just as good, if not better. It was just a bigger, punchier story, and then God of War 2018 changed the game and became one of the greatest games of all time. And Ragnarok is about just as good. So which one do I choose? I had to go with God of War 2. God of War 2 was the final boss in this video games generation. The blood, the action, the wacky combos you could do. For me, not even being a teenager yet, this was the perfect game I could have played at the time. Number 21, Civilization Revolution. I'm almost ashamed of the amount of hours I put in this game, not only because I've never played any other Civilization game, one, because this game is just a very easy to learn, much simpler version of that, and two, I'm afraid of how many hours I'm going to spend in those games because of how many hours I put into Civilization Revolution. It is really my only strategy game, and it is this high on this list. I love the idea of picking a civilization, bringing it into these big giant cities, swerving through technological ages, fighting wars, crafting your perfect playthrough to get to the finish line as fast as you can. I've never had time slip away from me more than when I played Civilization, where an entire day would go by in an instant. Number 20, it's Fortnite. I don't think I have to explain what Fortnite is. I've spent over 100 hours in these stupid ass maps doing stupid ass things, and it is so much fun, and I don't care. To be honest, Fortnite was pretty much the only game I played for like a year because I was just kind of drifting away from gaming at the time, and it was an easy thing to throw on here and there, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I don't play a lot of battle royales. I don't play a lot of online games in general, but if there's one I have to hop back into every now and then, it's Fortnite. Number 19, Marvel's Spider-Man. The game that easily has the best and most fun movement getting from point A to point B, web swinging in Marvel Spider-Man is like my childhood dream come true. Spider-Man is easily my favorite superhero, and no game put me in the suit more than this one. It's probably one of the best Spider-Man stories. Playing through all the Spider-Man games, the first one was the most fun because the first time I got to go in this big city, take on random thugs, beat them up, move on to the next thing, and it was one of the happiest gameplay loops I've ever played. Number 18, Shadow of the Colossus. Another Team Eco game, and this one is even more beautiful than Eco. Shadow of the Colossus is another subtle storytelling masterpiece, but it is also a gameplay magnum opus. You are a small person up against giant-sized bosses called Colossi, and you have to figure out how to defeat them. It may take a lot of tries, you might have zero idea how to take this thing on, but by the end, it feels so rewarding, and then when you slowly peel back this game's layers, it feels so wrong. Number 17, Far Cry 3. One of the most pure fun video games I've ever played. Voss is one of the greatest characters in gaming. I'm not going to say anything you haven't heard about Far Cry 3 before, but ironically this is my second favorite first-person shooter. Collecting a bunch of tats to level up my guy, running around this island with a flamethrower, listening to Skrillex. I don't know how you could put on a more stupid fun video game. Number 16, Batman Arkham City. This game bleeds aesthetic, and that aesthetic is pure Batman. This game invented one of the best combat systems ever. On top of that, the fun gadgets moving around the city, the amazing DLC, one of my favorite video game endings ever. Very few games are the total package like Batman Arkham City. Number 15, The Last of Us. One of the best stories in video games that only gets better and better the more I experience it, whether that's from the HBO show, Last of Us 2, or one of the 30 re-releases of this game. The Last of Us also had a damn good multiplayer mode I was thoroughly invested in, and the combat, from its grotesque violence, running away from zombies, it is a damn fine experience if there ever was one. Number 14, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Specifically on the GameCube, I have some of my best gaming memories hopping in as Sonic the Hedgehog, playing City Escape over and over again, running to the Chow Garden, leveling up my guys, rinse and repeat. This game is so tied to my childhood, I could never give it anything less than a 10 out of 10. From its soundtrack to the goofy voice acting, the bosses that are all over the place, there's a Mario Kart sequence that keeps popping up in the game. Objectively, the worst game on this list, but it's also one of my favorites. Number 13, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is one of the most celebrated video games of all time for a reason. It is a game that is endlessly fun, endlessly creative, and puts Zelda into a whole new world. The most pure open world game I've ever played, and the only Zelda game I've actually rolled credits on. I am ashamed of that. But very few games have or ever will capture the magic that was in Breath of the Wild. I love this game. Number 12, Resident Evil 4. Playing through Resident Evil 4 Remake was a damn fun experience, but if anything, it just made me want to go back and play Resident Evil 4 Original all the more. This is a fun action game in the Resident Evil world. From the stupid one-liners to the snappy combat that I was playing back on the GameCube again. It's not on my top 10 anymore just because I've played so many good games recently, but that is the kind of game we're talking about, the best of the best. Number 11, Pokemon Go. So I've played just about all the Pokemon games, grew up with Pokemon, put like 1,000 hours into Pokemon Soul Silver, another one of my favorite games, but one entry per franchise. So I'm gonna go with number 11, Pokemon Go. It is a game that I've been playing probably longer than any other game consistently. Because of this game, I went on a trip with a Pokemon Go YouTuber all the way to Osaka, Japan, which was a life-changing experience, and being around a bunch of friends playing the same game together. Sure, it's just a dumb AR Pokemon game, but those experiences are so tied to this game that I couldn't put it anywhere else than this high on my list. Number 10, we're in the top 10 now. Ghost of Tsushima. This is the most beautiful and aesthetic game on this list. Sucker Punch does its magic again, but somehow they are able to make the best samurai game of all time. This game takes your breath away over and over again, and as you build up your character and start to become this ghostly ninja samurai that destroys everything in his path and maybe goes a little bit too far, it is a beautiful story, beautiful game. The online is alright, but everything else about the game is god tier. Number 9, Fable. Fable is basically my first RPG, but it was the first game where I took my character from this tiny small little boy into this god powerhouse monster with all his stats leveled up. This game had a morality system where I played fully good, I played again fully evil. Again, I don't know how much fun I'll have if I play this game over again, but the memories I had with it, doing absolutely everything there was to do in the game on the original Xbox no less. Yeah, it's something I can't take away because of how tied to my gaming core it is. Number 8, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is the greatest fighting game of all time. I don't know how you could make a better fighting game. The best version of any Super Smash Bros. Gameplay on top of the biggest, grandest roster of them all. I put a stupid amount of hours on this game, playing online, trying to get as many characters into Elite Smash as I can. I'm not that good, it's only like a decent amount. But no matter how many times I lose, how many times I pick myself back up, I could do that over and over again, endlessly until the end of time, because I adore Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And the reveal trailers are some of the most hype moments I've ever been online, so there's that too. Number 7, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The most recent addition to this list, and the reason I waited until I finished it before making it, Clair Obscur, other than maybe Ghost of Tsushima, this is the most beautiful game I've ever played. It is the best turn-based gameplay I've ever had. It takes a lot of formulas from other games I love, of JRPG games where you go on a big quest collecting characters, building them up before having this big epic quest line. It took that, put a new spin on it, and it is so fucking perfect. I don't know how to describe this game other than perfect. I don't care if Jesus Christ brought down a gaming system with a bunch of games on it. I don't see how any other game is game of the year than Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Number 6, Final Fantasy X. You can probably just tell by my forearm how much I love this game. Final Fantasy X was my first big JRPG. I spent like 100 hours on this game, doing as many of the things as I could, exploring the lands, building up one of my favorite casts in gaming. And again, I'm playing this on PS2. My physical copy always glitched out at a certain cutscene, so I wasn't able to finish this game. So I had to hunt down another copy like a year later, get to the end of the game, cry during the credits. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I love Final Fantasy X. Number 5, Fallout 3. On my last top 10 list, Fallout 3 was number 2. And this was actually my favorite game for the majority of my life. It's always been the top 2 games, always were the top 2 games. Fallout 3 is actually taking a bit of a bump down here, so I should probably explain that, because you guys probably already know what Fallout 3 is. I've kind of had a falling out with Bethesda Studio games. Somehow playing Fallout 4 made me like Fallout less. I think a remaster would do this game a lot of justice, I think, with how grand and epic open world games are becoming. Games like Fallout 3 kind of feel like they're losing a little bit of the war compared to the other games. Doing absolutely everything there is to this game rocked me. I was way too young to be playing this game, so the rated M for mature stuff in here was really graphic for me, but I pushed forward. You know you're in love with an RPG when you're talking to every NPC, you're trying to get every single weapon there is, you're trying to build your little collection of power armor suits. God, I fucking love Fallout 3. Number 4, Persona 5 Royal. Another recent addition to the list. This and Persona 3 Reload were pretty neck and neck, but I love Persona 5 just a little bit more. Other than my number 1 slot, I think this is my favorite cast in gaming. I knew after playing Persona 3 Reload that I would adore this game, and I was completely right. I spent over 120 hours on this game, and I still did not want it to end. It's also incredibly simple. It's a JRPG where you go dungeon crawling, you come back up, it's a friendship simulator after that, you talk to your friends, you boost up your friendship, it's on a calendar system. I could play this for the rest of my life. That's how much I love this simple gameplay loop. Not to mention this game's art and aesthetic, it's one of the most profound in gaming. You gotta love Persona 5 Royal. Number 3, Elden Ring. The video game of all video games. Elden Ring is the most epic game I've ever played, the best boss battles in any game ever. It is a giant open world that went on forever, and I cherished every moment of this game, exploring the lands between, getting into every crevice, stumbling upon epic boss battles, trying to uncover bits of lore and actually find out what the hell is happening around you. It was already a top 10 game that was going to be on this list, and then the DLC came out and made this game even better. Elden Ring is another perfect game. Number 2, Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, I grew up on Kingdom Hearts, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is an anime Disney package that completely captures my childhood. I quote or think about this game every other day, I think. My wife and I, the first thing we bonded over was Kingdom Hearts. We got Kingdom Hearts tattoos. Her engagement ring is a Paopu fruit from Kingdom Hearts. Although I don't love where the franchise has gone, what the franchise means to me, and where it sat in my memory banks all these years, that is why it is one of my favorite games of all time. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. And then number 1, it hasn't changed, Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect is my favorite gaming franchise. These are my favorite characters in gaming, my favorite story in gaming, and it is a damn good third-person shooter at that. But Mass Effect 2 was the peak of the franchise for me. I played this game over and over again, trying to have the best build going into Mass Effect 3 because you could transfer your saves over, and then I bombed that whole playthrough anyway and played them all again. Then it got remastered. I played them all one more time in a Let's Play, put it on Insanity mode, got all the achievements. Mass Effect 2 is and probably will be for a very long time my favorite game. I played this back in the winter of 2010. I think I was like 13, 14. This is the time frame where a lot of people end up choosing their favorite game, and I'm one of them because it's such a detrimental part of my gaming core. This is where I really found out the kind of games I like. I like big adventures, going on a big quest, getting a bunch of characters, leveling them all up, having this big epic story with consequences. Mass Effect 2, it doesn't get any better. But oh wait, you thought that was the end of this little adventure of ours. In order to make this video, I just went in and wrote every single video game I've ever played. I ranked them, and I think for another video, I'm just gonna look at that list, going over my top 25 all the way down to my least favorite game. So if that's something you're interested in, or if you just want to hear me blab about video games, anime, and other dumb stuff I'm into, please hit that big red subscribe button. But that's about all I got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed me gushing over and glazing a bunch of my favorite games that I've spent way too many hours playing. And I'm actually really surprised how many games are on here that I've played within the past like 2 or 3 years or whatever. We'll talk about that more on the next video. But for now, thank you for watching, and until next time with that, I leave you.